is right. I would much prefer the house to be and the barn to be together. And I believe there's also, unrelated to this specific issue, a question as to whether or not the accessory will need a well because it has a septic field already. And I don't believe that's been addressed fully yet, judging from reading the file. So I think that's all my comments on this specific subject.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we need to discuss this. I'm gonna start off and say that this is a self-created problem, and it's an accessory structure should be with a primary building. There is other alternatives for this subdivision to be done. I think it should be looked at a little bit more. I don't know if I can, does anybody else have any other comments on that?
No, I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with that too. This is a little bit of thinking and this could be avoided, right?
Right, because this is a created lot. This is not a lot that he owned prior, you know what I mean? It was already subdivision. There's subdivided. If it was all subdivided, yes, I would agree with the code, and I would agree with you. But he's creating this lot, and that's why I don't agree with you.
Yeah, but the code specifically says is
If they have a lot, not creating a lot. That's why the way I understand it.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else on the board disagrees with me, or
all right,
if anybody else disagrees.
May I just tell you, but the way I read it is that the accessory use may exist on a different lot, and
But
That
there
lot
is no,
doesn't
that
exist.
lot doesn't exist.
That lot doesn't exist, so it can't exist on a lot that doesn't
Right.
exist.
That's what I'm
That's-
getting at.
well,
Creating the lot,
on-
and therefore it's kind of existing subsequent to the lot being
yeah,
created.
but the point simply is that your law, as it presently written, says that it would be conforming by if the use was to the adjacent lot. So there should be no reason why you can't then create the lot and do this. The sole
You said
reason,
adjacent
the sole
lot.
reason for doing it now, as I indicated, the sole reason for doing that now is because of the cost in going through the subdivision process and going through all these steps and paying engineers to do all of this kind of work. And he said, well, what is the end game here? Eventually, what he'd like to do is put a residence and a house there. I'm sorry, the residence and where the garage is on Lot 3. But he doesn't want to do that at this time, but he would be doing that in the future. So when they went in and said, how would you lay this all out? And they said, that's it. Now, the so-called variance that he was asking for about the acreage, he could make it work, but it is a line that is more inappropriate, so they made it's a half-acre variance that he was asking for. That's what the engineer explains to me, right, Joe? So that's all, but that's not before the board right now. This
Right.
is an interpretation it's an appeal from that straight determination as to whether that's to be read that way. And with all due respect, I think that's reading more into the statute than the statute says. Okay, I do believe that the straightforward interpretation of that has to be that. And I do believe that where there's this direct conflict, like there is in your statute, then the only way to interpret that is to interpret it most favorably to the property owner. If we get that matter particularly taken care of, we could put whatever we've offered restrictions to make sure that ultimately that's the way it will go. I mean, but to require him to put a house on that property now is the exact opposite of what people are looking for, in the sense of saying, well, I don't want it overdeveloped right now, I don't want all of this. But he could, if he just went in and put the house there and said, okay, I'll then ask ask for the lot. And I just submit that that's sort of backwards and not in accordance with what the law in the state of New York is. Okay?
Anybody else have anything to say? Okay, I guess we'll have to vote. Correct. Okay. Don't know the legal term.
Close the public
We
hearing
want me to
first.
close the public hearing. We're going to close the public hearing. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Joe? I'll
Second.
Jacob? So we're going to vote on the code enforcement's, ruling to reverse, so that he can reverse and he can have the accessory structure on Lot 3, I'm going to say, and I'm not in favor of it. Did I say that right?
You want me to call the roll?
Yeah. Marilyn, can you call the roll?
Member Yeager?
I don't agree with it. I think that, it's I agree with the town code enforcement.
Member Troop?
I'm not in favor.
Not in favor?
Not in favor.
Member Twarchek?
Same. Not in favor.
Debbie?
Not in favor.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's about it, right? No other discussions, we shouldn't have any other discussions or anything like that? Okay,
Public hearing's been closed and a vote's been taken, so whatever, just your future scheduling, I believe, is the next matter on your agenda.
okay. So the future scheduling deadline is September 8th. Meeting is September 8th, 2025. Deadline is August 18th, 2025. The next, at the meeting after that is October 13th, 2025.
no meeting.
No meeting, sorry, no meeting. November 10th, 2025. Deadline date is October 20th, 2025. December 8th is a meeting after that. Deadline is November 17th, 2025. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Jacob?
Second.
Joanne? All in favor?
Aye.
Seconded? Who seconded?